Hello YouTube, I am Pinstar, and this is They Are Billions, briefly. So, yeah, I went to sit down to record some more Glassbolt here. Let's go hit continue. We got our save file right here. Let's load this beast up, see if we can survive that wave. I'm sure you guys have been eagerly waiting to see if we can handle that thing and continue our colony's wondrous growth. See if our new expansion's going to pay off, see if we can keep it together, see if we can make it into the end game. And yeah. Day 0, hour 21. It seems one of my children, and I have an idea of which one it was, decided to start up a new game and didn't bother renaming it. Not that he would know you need to rename the game, but it auto-saved over the old one because it kept the same name. So, Glassbolt was destroyed, not by zombies, but by a 5-year-old. I do apologize, folks. I will attempt this series again after I stop sobbing. In the meantime, let's try something completely different. So, with our zombie town wiped out by a 5-year-old, let's play the other game that I've been wanting to return to here. Some Slay the Spire. I never got around to beating this with the other character, the silent. Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, I never got around to beating it on camera. I've actually been playing this game to absolute death. And actually, you know what? I'd be willing to call this a strategy and tactics series at this point because of how many times I've played through it with both of the available characters. So, you know what? Let's dive in. Let's see if we can make a run of the Silent work for us. Now, I do have to say, having played both of them a lot, that the Silent is more difficult to play than the Ironclad. But that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean she is weaker. You just need to be more careful with how you build her deck. Right then, let us begin. All right, I think I left off at a point where I would be able to. No, I guess we quit out early, so no beginning game bonus. That's okay. Well, not really. I'd prefer the bonus, but we'll survive. So, just as a reminder, we start the game with 12 cards, our requisite 5 defends, 5 strikes, and our 2 sort of specialized cards that sets us apart from the Ironclad at the beginning of the game, the Survivor and Neutralize. Now, my first tip to you is you want to try to get rid of these 10 cards over the course of your game. They need to be either completely removed or replaced or transformed into something more powerful, and hopefully something a bit more focused. But right now, these are the enemy. They're functional. They will serve us in the early game. You can make do with them, but the more you use these later and later, the less their value will be able to carry you to victory in future and harder fights. So getting rid of them and replacing them with just legitimately better cards is paramount. And pretty much any of the non-cards, any of the cards besides these will be more valuable. An attack that costs 1 will generally either do more damage than strike or do more special effects or have combo possibilities. And same goes with defense and blocking. So let's take a look here. Now, we do start the game with 99 gold. And it is of no consequence, or it's no coincidence, I should say, that the first card that you can get rid of at a shop costs you 75. That's not a bad thing. The other thing you want to keep an eye out for, if you can, you actually want to go for the elites. They're actually kind of dangerous to get them too early. but you also don't want to avoid them entirely, because sometimes the relics they provide will give you a boost that you need later in your run. I think I'm going to go up this path only because when we get to this point, depending on what our hit point total looks like, we can, if we're feeling like our deck is in a good place, we can go after the elite. If we are limping through and our deck isn't really there, we can divert into the fire and either rest up for some HP or forge some cards to improve the deck. Either way, it's a valuable choice. We get an early merchant to burn an early card and maybe pick up something cheap that can help start a combo deck going. So let's start over here. This is an unfortunate first combat to have. This is probably one of the harder early fights because we have the two guys here, and this guy is at 13 hit points. I can't two-shot him easily, which is unfortunate. No, I can do it. If I survivor, well, rather, we want to get rid of this guy, so two strikes will do that, plus a neutralize, which costs 0, will finish him off. We won't get the debuff, but we'll still survive. Now what we have left here is this guy doing 7. A regular defend won't cut it, but survivor gives us 8, and that'll allow us to at least mitigate the damage. You'll find that because the Silent doesn't regenerate her health, at least not naturally, the way that the Ironclad does, you need to be very conservative with your HP total and avoid taking unnecessary hit point losses when possible. So we're going to Survivor. It doesn't really matter which card we discard because they're all going in the discard pile at the end of the turn anyway. Yeah, we pick up a wound. Annoying, but not the end of the world, because we draw 5 cards. We only have the energy to cast 3 of them, maybe 4 if we draw Equalize. Now this is an unfortunate draw because he's doing a strategic non-attacking move, which means I should do 3 strikes. I don't have 3 strikes, so I'll just strike twice and throw up a useless defend. And weaken will make us just do less damage. Alright, we're going to want to lean more heavily on defenses here. Now, here comes the real question. Do we want to do Survivor plus 2 attacks and just take the 2 hit points? I'm going to say no. Because we're weakened, our attacks do less damage this turn. So, you know what? We're just going to actually spend for the less efficient but more complete blocks. And then just do 1 strike to 4 and wait out this debuff and still not take any HP damage. Alright, give me strike. Oh, that is an awful hand. Remember when I said that the wound probably won't hurt us? Yeah, it just hurt us. That could have been a strike. I'm not even going to bother casting them. They do nothing. This is the most prolonged first battle of the game I've had. But you know, the AI roulette is being merciful, so we can finish him off. 4, 4, 2, gone. No hit point damage, even though it took longer. He's not the type of enemy that gets more and more dangerous as the fight gets prolonged. There are some enemies out there that you can't prolong the fight for too long, or they will just overwhelm you. Alright, we'll take our gold. Let's see what we get here. Now, these first early card decisions are critical. You do generally want to take the first couple of cards offered to you, unless it's all completely garbage. And what direction you build your deck really depends on some of these early card choices, because these can become the combo pieces that sort of make or break your deck. And sort of allows you to, well, sort of educates you in what further card picks you want to take, and also what times you want to skip the card pick. That being said, we've got some pretty decent stuff here. Deadly Poison is obviously good for a poison build. Dash is incredibly good value. I mean, it seems kind of pedestrian, 10 damage, 10 block, but imagine you split this card in 2, and it said, gain 10 block for 1, no downsides. Or gain 10 damage for 1, no downsides. Now you put them together, you make it cost 2, but you get both, and you almost always need both. whenever you're fighting here. But that being said, we don't have a means of getting extra energy generation in here. Now, Slice is free damage. Right now, remember when I said we drew 5 cards, but we generally would only have the energy to play 3, maybe 4 of them? This could be a 5th card that we could play. We could actually legitimately, if we got the right draws, play our entire hand and maybe give us a little extra bit of damage that could make a fight that would cause us to lose hit point damage, otherwise end without taking any. So I'm going to take Slice. I was very close to taking the other one. Not so much with the poison. Poisons, you need a lot of good stuff to make poison work for you properly. I'm not a fan of poison builds with the silent. I mean, I've made them work for me, but they're less reliable. You happen to come to a group of what looks like purple fire spirits dancing around a large bonfire. Spirits toss bones and fragments into the fire, which brilliantly erupts each time. As you approach, the spirits all turn to you expectantly. Receive a reward based on the offer. Now, generally speaking, the more valuable the card you give them, the better. All I have are just garden level cards. So I'm going to take this opportunity to burn one of the 10 cards we want to get rid of. And before, since we were getting a bit too many defends, even after adding this Slice, we're gonna start with by burning a defend. You generally want to burn them equally, so you're not completely devoid of attacks or defends, unless you're going for a deck with that. But yeah, let's give them a defend, see what we get in return. Nothing happens. The spirits seem to be ignoring you. Disappointing. Yeah, they give us nothing, but actually, no, they didn't give us nothing. They gave us the ability to burn a card, which normally costs us 75 gold. So this was actually quite useful, because now we can go here and buy a card burn from the shop. And the fact that we burned a card earlier doesn't factor into its cost. Now, before we go and burn a card, we have to ask ourselves, do we want some of the items, one of the cards here, to pick it up? There are a number of different options here. Obviously, since the only real card we have, other than our starter 2 non-basic cards, is Slice. So we could be going in the direction of maybe like a Shiv build, where we, stock up on a lot of zero-cost cards and then focus on card draw. That's a distinct possibility, which means Blade Dance might be useful for us, but I think at this juncture, since we're not really pot committed to a Shiv build, and we don't have anything else that buffs Shivs or helps us, gives us benefits, I'm going to forgo that and just go with the card removal service, and this time I will burn a strike, just to keep the cards burned, and like I said, we're slowly whittling away. One of the easy traps to get into in this game, and I'll admit to getting into that trap with my earlier playthroughs, is bloating your deck. The bigger your deck gets, the less consistent it is, and the less powerful your combos are. So we're left with 39 gold. We'll carry that forward, and maybe by the time we hit the next shop, we'll be able to burn another card, or maybe get something else. Alright, another fight. This is more like it for an early level fight. Alright, good. He hits pretty hard, but we've got the neutralize. We can bring that down to 9. Again, I don't want to take unnecessary damage, so we'll defend. We'll get in a strike, and because we have our friend Slice here, even though we're out of energy, we get another 5 damage on top of it. Had this been a normal turn, we would have played our entire hand. We start the game because of our starter trinket with 2 extra cards, which we can't afford. That can be useful in some builds, but other time oftentimes it just gives you extra cards to pick from, so you can have a slightly above average opening hand. Alright, we've got no other means to mitigate that, so I think I am going to lean on the 2 blocks here. The survivor plus that will give us just slightly more defend than we need, and we'll hit him for 6. Again, he's not one of the types of enemies that builds up in strength over time, so we can slow play this safely and not take any unnecessary hit point damage. Alright, he's going to debuff us. No reason not to still neutralize him, get him down that, because then we can block all of his damage with a single defend, which, we're still going to have 1 leftover energy anyway, but hey, there we go. We got to play our whole hand, even though we didn't need to in that case. Fortunately, yeah, with us weakened, I don't think we're going to be able to blitz him down. Not that we have the ability to. In fact, with him doing 12 damage and us having no way to weaken him, I'm just going to, especially since we're the weakened one, just going to throw up my 3 defends here, and then just play our free 3 damage attack. And that way we keep our hit point total nice and safe. I mean, taking a few hit points of damage here and there in the early game isn't going to kill you, but you really don't have to, and it will make you stronger for the harder fights later on. Because especially if we tangle with that elite, we're going to probably take hit point damage at the elite. So better to have the hit points here when you don't need to lose them than and have them available for the elite where you might going to take a few hits to the face. Alright, let's take a look here. Aha! Deflect. Slice's cousin. Same idea. A 0-cost card that gives us some block. You know what? I think this helps us go in the proper direction here. Although I do say we could probably have gone in a poison thing, given how many poison cards we're getting. But we still, even then, we wouldn't have had that. Distraction. Distraction plays okay with decks that focus on exhausting cards, because it exhausts itself, and you might get something else freebie out of the deal. But no, I think we're going to go with Deflect. We're going to go with the 0-cost theme and see if we can't get some relics or other cards that sort of combo off of playing lots of cards. Alright, these guys, not too shabby as long as you have enough offense. Well, we don't really need to weaken him. And we don't need to defend this turn either, but yeah, this is why you want to kind of defend. We definitely want to get rid of a defend next time we have a chance to burn off one of their cards. Now here's a question. We could, yeah, we can, well, we only got 3 cards that cost 1 anyway, so we're going to play any of them anyway. The hand plays itself. So we'll have more defend that we need, which is fine. And we take him down to a good chunk. We actually, if we get 3 strikes next turn, we can just take him out wholesale without having to worry about blocks. Not enough to do it, so we have to defend. Sad as that is, we got to defend to avoid that hit point loss. I mean, yeah, we could have just cost the 1, but if you can't kill him, might as well just over block and kill him next turn. There. Now, he is one of the characters, or one of the enemies that if you let the fight go on too long, he will overwhelm you. But we had enough time on our hand that we could, you know, slow play it enough to avoid the damage. Okay, so acrobatics. This one actually might work for us. Draw 3 cards, discard a card. This plays into a number of different things. As we start filling our deck with cards that cost 0, or more importantly, taking out the cards that cost 1, we're going to run into situations where we have more energy than we have cards to play. So picking up acrobatics will allow us to get more cards out of the deal. So even though it doesn't do any damage or give us any block, it's an important tech card to the deck as we're building it. Prepared would also be acceptable, but Prepared only really works as a tech card for discard decks, like if you have decks that focus on giving you benefits every time you discard a card. Whereas here, Acrobatics, we're paying the 1, but we want to draw the extra cards because some of those cards might be free. So we're going to go Acrobatics. Alright, you know what? Do we want to go for the Elite? Or not. Depending on what elite it is, though, that could really speak to whether or not this is a good idea. We have a chance to fight an elite further up, so you know what? I'm going to take discretion as the better part of valor, only because none of our cards are upgraded yet. And there's one upgrade that I really want to do early on. Now, I would advise ever voluntarily upgrading any of your basic cards. Your goal is to get rid of them, not make them stronger. I mean, you can make them stronger, but they're still a pretty bad value, even upgraded. That being said, one of your starter cards is really useful to upgrade early on, and that's Neutralize. It's still a zero-cost card, but it makes weak last for 2. That 1 extra point of damage is nothing. That extra turn of weakness, that is huge. That can save you a lot of damage, especially on the harder fights. And if you keep your deck lean, you will cycle into this very frequently, allowing you to spread that weakness on thick. So this is going to be a high priority card to upgrade. And now we get 2 question marks, which can lead to things like extra chests. And another item that really wanted me to go poison. God dang it. Well, our first item is telling us no Pinstar. You chose wrong. That being said, we can roll ourselves into a poison deck if we get Envenom, which does damage every time you deal damage, which if you have a bunch of zero-cost attacks, will cause you to do damage pretty frequently. So, at the moment, doesn't help us out as much, but I'm not going to begrudge it. It's a free item. And these events here can sometimes give us... Now here, losing some hit points for a chance for a relic, even if you have to do it a few times, I'm willing to spend those hit points. Because relics, especially early in the game, can help out and also advise us how to build our deck. Nope, didn't get it that time. 35% chance? Nope. This is sunk cost fallacy. I'm going to keep going. Got it. Ooh. Okay, the Dead Branch. Now we have a relic that tells us we should build an exhaust deck. Wow, they want us to do anything other than a low-cost deck. So, well, we'll see what kind of cards we can pull into for this. Let's see what kind of relic this chest will give us. Maybe it'll give us something that'll help our kind of deck. Tiny chest. You're more likely to find more chests. So it's a chest that finds more chests. That's fine, actually. Gives us the gold early, and getting this early means we might actually get an extra chest when we hit those question mark rooms. So we are going to want to go out of our way to hit question mark rooms as much as possible, because we're more likely to get chests there, like we kind of left out down there. All right, let's see what we get out of this fight. I am probably going to go after the elite. So I don't like leaving a whole thing without an elite, and maybe it'll give us a dream artifact here. Alright, so see, 16 damage, that's a lot of damage. Let's neutralize. Now he's down to 12. I do wish I had my other. Let's see, defend, and we could, if we wanted to slow play it, we could. Do another defend to block the 2. Yeah, why not? And then we'll just get in a little bit of a lick here. This is not a guy that gets more and more strong as time goes on. So there's no reason to hasten it. Now we can go all out. Well, as much all out as our hand would allow us. I couldn't have gotten that the last hand. Well, I am going to have to take a point of damage here, but that's okay. No avoiding that with the hand that I was given. And, oh, actually, no, it does get more dangerous over time with that corrosive spit. Alright, we got neutralized just in time to bring him back down. And, actually, Survivor... Get ready to defend here. Plus a deflect will give us what we need. We've got more energy than we can spend. That's why we took acrobatics. So we pick up 2. We still have to discard a card, but we can pitch the defend because we don't need that. And now we get an extra strike out of the deal and interrupt. So we actually didn't need that, but that's okay. Unfortunately, that's going to make him shed his debuff. And now we've got 2 guys here. Alright, we might need to go digging for more defense here. Let's... Ah, good. Neutralize. Excellent. Alright, so we'll neutralize you. Bring you down to 7. We'll defend. Take a point of damage, but that's better than the alternative. And dish out damage as possible. This guy's still going to be loading us up with wounds here, which is not good for our deck, because that's the one weakness of lean decks, is you getting wound cards. Alright, well, we got no choice here but to turtle up here. And pick up more wounds. We need to get rid of these guys before we get too wounded. This is like so. This is when it starts to get dangerous. Because now we're starting to take significant amounts of damage and get significant more wounds. Okay, a turn where we can do something. We need to kill one of these guys without fail. Alright, we're going to neutralize you. We're going to strike you. We're going to slice you. We need to go digging for more damage. And we're not going to be able to do it. F. So who'd have thought we'd have got mauled by one of these guys? I should have done that on him. Yeah, see, now you're doing these stupid status attacks. These are what you're supposed to do to give me a breather. Dang it. Man, I can't even kill him that turn. See, I don't mind the lick. Go ahead, give me that. But the corrosive spits. Yeah, see, now that I have a chance to kill him. Oh, I've already got my deck full of these dang wounds. So every deck has its strengths, every deck has its weaknesses, but we're just going to muscle through here. We're probably going to have to rest at the campfire next time we have one. Thankfully you can discard the wounds, so we don't have to discard an actually useful card. I'm going to go digging for more damage, because we've already got the things blocked. Nothing doing, but it was worth a try to get our slice, possibly. Alright, let's kill this thing for once and for all. Sheesh! Alright, another deflect? Maybe, but loading up on multiples of the same card can be dangerous, because you might get multiples of them in your hand, and maybe we need... It can make things dangerous for you. Now, Blur's really good to stack up block on turns when you don't need it. It gives you some very good flexibility. I really like Blur, but I also really like Terror. Terror is the silent's only source of dishing out the vulnerable debuff onto an enemy. And you can get a lot of use out of that. So these two are really difficult to choose from. But because my deck is a little bit too defensive at the moment, I'm going to go with Terror and hope we pick up the other. Well, normally I would have gone for our Elite here. But we kind of got mauled by a freaking slime. That being said, we did pick up Terror, which can allow us to do that. So you know what? Let's try our luck. Ooh, I am so glad I got Terror, because this guy needs to have Terror put on him. And, oh yeah, our stick gives us goodies whenever we do that. Flying Knee is actually fantastic right now. I don't even own it in my deck, but I have it for this combat. So this guy, once he casts his buff, will get stronger and stronger with every skill that you play. And, well, all of your defenses are skills. So that is problematic, because if you block, you make it good in the short term for one turn, and then much worse for yourself. You need to burn him down as quickly as possible. Thankfully, we got Terror, so we're going to burn him down 50% faster, and we got something that not only does damage, but also gives us more energy next turn. So, huzzah, Flying Knee will neutralize him, because that will help keep his attacks down. And yeah, we'll throw down our strike, because this is a buff turn. We've got him down a fair amount. We can play Deflect, means nothing, and it doesn't help or hurt us, so yeah. So yeah, every time you play a skill, this guy gets 2. All right, he's gonna inflict that on me, unfortunately. And I am gonna have to acrobatics here, so I am gonna have to trigger his skill. Because otherwise I'd be wasting a ton of energy. Give me attacks. God dang it! I need attacks. This will buff him, but I need to block the damage. He's going to do a metric F-ton to me next turn if I don't kill him. Yep, 27 metric F-ton. Well, we got neutralized to bring that down just a bit. We've got strike, we've got flying knee, and oh my god, we just barely made it. Oh. Metric F-ton of damage avoided and Blood Vial. Oh, thank you, Blood Vial. Thank you. And I got my first potion of the game. Usually it doesn't take that long. Now, we've got a couple other options here. We have the Dead Branch here, which gives us extra cards whenever we exhaust a card. Shivs are a card that exhausts themselves. So this not only gives us 6 block, which is slightly better than the stock blocks, but it gives us a free Shiv, which is a free attack, which will exhaust itself and trigger the Dead Branch. So we're going to go with that. And definitely, next time we have a chance to get rid of a card, to get rid of a defense, because now we're way too heavily in defense. Alright, these guys you have to kill quickly, otherwise they're going to take your moolah. Neutralize. Let's Cloak and Dagger and see what we get out of the Shiv. Because watch this. Play this, exhaust, Dead Branch triggers, and now we've got this. Deal 12 damage, discard all non-attack cards. Do we want to just take a point of damage and get a superior attack? Because this literally does double what a strike does. It probably wouldn't be a bad thing. If we had a card that gave us benefits every time we discarded a card, this would be even better. Bink, 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 bink. And finish with a strike. Alright, so we'll take a point of damage on the nose. That's okay. You have a minimum of 2 turns to kill this guy. At the third turn, they might go for a third attack and a third gold steal, or they might start going for their smoke bomb runaway gambit. Now, Terror is a little bit late to the party, but still not a bad idea. Yeah, if we Survivor, we can ditch Deflect. And then, yeah, we'll Terror. Oh, yeah. Oh, Storm of Steel. Welp. Wish I'd done that first. I'd have played that and gotten a whole bunch of new cards. So, not enough, but we'll block the damage. And, yes, that Storm of Steel will cycle back in, although I don't get to keep it permanently. Yeah, see, they're going for the runaway, but he's so close to death now it doesn't matter. And we get our money back. And an explosive potion. Okay, now, again, we're looking at 0-cost cards, and we're looking at cards that exhaust themselves. Infinite Blades gives us that. Because we get a Shiv every turn, so basically we get a new card every turn. Now, is that a good thing? Maybe, maybe not, but at a slow trickle, that's good. We wouldn't want to go with a Shiv build where we get like 11 billion Shivs, because then that would just clog our hand with God knows what. So we're going to go Infinite Blades here. I do want to pick up this because we've got enough gold to burn out another card, so we're going to go for the fight. Alright, let's see here. Survivor, let's see. You know what, yeah, we'll play the Terror. Oh yeah, what did we get? Tools of the Trade, gives us extra draws. Nah, that's okay. I'm not going to spend the first turn energy on this. We're going to do Survivor. We don't need acrobatics at the moment. We are going to deflect to get our block all the way up, and then we're going to start whittling this guy down. And yeah, since he's got 99 stacks of vulnerable, you have all the time in the world it's not like it's gonna wear off. All right. Yeah, we could cloak and dagger. Oh, we got that. We might need a little bit more. Yeah, this'll help us out. But well, let's see what we get out of the Shiv first. We might get a better defend riddle or something to kill him with. 4 times 5. Not quite enough. Oh, actually, yes, quite enough. Yeah, that takes care of that. And then he's just gonna debuff me. See, why didn't your slime cousin do more of that? You took your turn before you made yourself threatening. It's a little late to bother with infinite blades, although with... Yeah, I might just defend while I wait for him to wait for my thing. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna give me a wound, but at this point it's not gonna be enough to really harm me. Let's go for the Shiv to see what we get out of it. Accuracy. Not really worth playing at this time. I mean, I guess we could play it. Should be able to take him down if we get enough offensive cards. There we go. 1,000 cuts. 1,000 cuts. That could really anchor our deck. Yeah, whenever you play a card at all. It's not going to be great now, but it'll help us out later, and we're going to want to burn up some of these cards here. Let's see here. Yeah, don't want to buy any of these. Draw 3 cards. Master of Strategy would actually be a good one. Draw 3 cards and exhaust. That triggers a couple of different things. But I really do want to get rid of some of the crap out of my hand. Yeah. Alright, we got to get rid of some of this defend. The Sucker Punch is not really worth it. We want to rely on Equalize. Piercing Wail is actually kind of decent. But again, I want to save my cash. I really wanted to be able to afford Master of Strategy. Since this is right before the boss, let's rest up. Just get our hit points in a more, well, safe thing. Alright, boss time! This guy, alright. We should be okay. We have a chance to get some of our starters here. 1,000 cuts, boom. Terror, boom. We got another terror. That's completely useless. Game, come on! We'll throw down a... And... in this case, even though we don't need it, we want to play it just to get the extra damage. Come on, another terror? Game, please. Now we gotta do 21 damage, well, 30 damage to him, or defend. And, given this hand, looks like we're gonna need to defend. Now, because you heal all your damage at the end of a boss fight for the start of the new floor, we don't need to be quite as conservative or worried about losing hit points as long as we don't die. So, I'm okay with this. Alright. Yeah, we do want to get Infinite Blades played. And that's enough to trigger his mode shift, which is fine by me. And now we're going to start getting free shivs every turn, which will not only trigger our branch, but also our 1,000 cuts. Now he now has the Sharp Hide, which is going to do damage to us every time we attack him. So we do want to try to get ourselves some defenses up. Let's Acrobatics for some sort of defense. Yeah, let's get rid of Terror. We don't need another Terror. Let's Shiv, just in case it turns into a 2-cost card that might be useful. No, Nightmares. That's... Man, I keep getting these awkward cards. This is... I mean, don't get me wrong, Nightmares is a good card, but you need a deck built around it to really exploit it. Here, not so good at the moment. Alright, let's Survivor and discard Nightmares. We'll neutralize you. And I will... we can do 2 more attacks. Yeah, you know what? We don't have to be too conservative. We'll take 6 to the face. We've got an appreciable amount of hit points to work with, and we're damaging them at a decent rate. Well, we could play Nightmares, but we don't really want to. Well, we can neutralize again. Let's Shiv first. Well, let's defend first, then Shiv. See what it turns into. Wraith Form. Man, I keep getting all these expensive cards. Jeez. That will exactly help us out. We'll take 3 if otherwise, but I want to extend the duration of weak on him to make sure he's permanently weak. Problem is we don't have any big heavy hitter cards at the moment. Alright, let's Shiv. Give me something good. Riddle with Blades. That's... Riddle with Holes, rather. It's not bad. 3 times 4. We can Cloak and Dagger. And Deflect. That'll be enough. Let's see what this Shiv gives us. Masterful Stab. That'll be a hard one. Man, I'm just not getting good luck with this Dead Branch. Now the question is, do we want to Riddle with Holes? Deal 4 damage. That'll do more than 2 strikes. Yeah, just barely more. And yeah, I'd have to empty my hand to play this one. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, what I wouldn't do for Caltrops right now. Alright, I think we're in a good place. Let's roll the dice, see what we get. Storm of... Oh god, Storm of Steel, really? Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Watch this nonsense. Watch this nonsense. Alright, first we're gonna play that. We're gonna do Acrobatics, get 3 more cards. We'll discard the Terror here. We'll play the Neutralize, and then we'll Storm of Steel, and turn all of our hand into Shivs. And let's roll the dice and see what kind of nonsense we can get, even though we're out of energy. Hey, prepared! But hey, every one of these is... Oh, there's our dash. Alright. Well, we've got some interesting cards floating in our deck now. Wraith Form. Unfortunately, it's whenever you play a skill deal damage. And we don't play a ton of skills, so I'm not going to invest the 3 in that. I am going to invest in Cloak and Dagger. And see what other goodies we get. Alchemize. Oh, actually, that's... Yeah, we go. We got a free potion out of the deal. And that's ours to keep, even if we don't use it this fight. Shiv. Flying Knee. slice. Yeah, we'll go for the defend. Go for the weak attack, and then he's going to go for the stronger one. I don't know if we can kill him. Well, let's see what the Shiv gives us. Dodge and roll. I'll take it. So it'll give us some defense now and defense next turn, too. Yeah, we'll go for the extra defend here. Go for the strike, and then, yeah. We got too many high-cost cards to ever dream of masterful stabbing. I'm going to save my poison potion, by the way. Alright, we got to kill him before he goes to town on us. Alright. Shiv, maybe you turn into a better attack. Well, you turn into prepared. We're gonna do our prepareds here. Nightmare. Dagger throw is gonna be worth it. Go for that, and we'll finish him with a dagger throw. Phew! Fire potion, definitely getting rid of our elixir for that. Let's see. Unload, discard all non-attack cards. Corpse explosion, we don't have enough poison tech for that. And again, nightmare, choose a card next turn, 3 copies of that card in your hand. We don't have enough cost manipulation tech to make that work for us. So I think, you know what? Deal 12 damage, discard all non-attack cards. We're not a discard deck either. I'm actually going to forego the boss card. We need to stop taking cards to keep our deck lean. Okay, this deck is begging for a 4th point of energy, so the Cursed Key is definitely what we want to do. Now that is going to work against our tiny chest, which is going to give us more chests. The alternative is the Runic Pyramid, but because we're going for 0-cost cards, and we might get, we might burn into a card that is just otherwise a dead card, I don't want that in there. So we're going to go with the key. Help us play our hand more aggressively. Alright folks, we made it to stage 2. We're back to 70 health. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. So if you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!